Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Royce, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh, and you can give me a call tonight on the Bordas and Bordas hotline at 412-575-2600 is the number. Definitely a lot to talk about tonight, including the cancellation of the Bills-Bengals game. How does this impact teams? What are they going to do? They're going to have a special league meeting tomorrow. I just talked a little bit about it during the newscast, during the sportscast, and they'll go over a few scenarios. And this impacts a few teams. Especially the top-seeded teams. So it impacts the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs. And you have to kind of figure out what happens on Sunday, too. They have to kind of wait to see what happens on Sunday, because if the Chiefs lose and the Bills win, they could still win the number one seed. The Bengals, the Bengals are in a tough situation right now, because even if they beat the Ravens, they still can't catch either one of those teams because of that cancellation. So they're going to go by winning percentage, but I mean, here's the situation. So they go by winning percentage. Say the Chiefs win, which they're supposed to win. The Bills win. Maybe that Bengals game, who knows what's going to happen in that game, but say the Bengals win. They're going to be 1, 2, and 3. So that it would impact the Bills and the Chiefs. So what would happen would be, if the Bills make it to the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, that would be played at a neutral site if this would happen. So if some other things happen and the Bengals had a shot to get the number one seed and play the Chiefs or the Bills, I would guess, then that game would be at a neutral site. So it would impact those three teams. But it also will impact the Ravens a little, because if the Ravens will beat the Bengals, they can't win the AFC North because of this. The winning percentage for the Bengals will be higher no matter what happens this Sunday, even if the Ravens win. Now, Ravens would have beaten the Bengals twice. So if the Ravens and Bengals, this is if the Ravens beat the Bengals on Sunday. If the Ravens beat the Bengals on Sunday, then that game would be decided, if they play in the playoffs, would be decided, the field would be decided by a coin flip. So who has home field advantage? So there are some unique things here at play, but the one thing for sure is they're not going to resume that Bills-Bengals game. And I know that impacts a lot of you fantasy football players out there, too, because it was championship weekend, and there were some good guys playing in that game. So it definitely impacted fantasy football. Our fantasy football expert is on the other side over at his house tonight with his Syracuse sweatshirt on, Andrew Fillipponi. Pony, thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate you coming on. I guess you can't hear me. Pony's there. See, at least we see him. We know he's here. He's going to be there any minute, I promise you, giving his hot takes of the night. But anyways, let's go back to this scenario and this situation. So I don't know what else they could have done. When do you play the game? You don't want to push back all the playoffs. You can't do that, really. There were talks about playing this weekend, after it would be Week 19, the first wild card weekend, playing the NFC games along with the Bills and Bengals game, and then kind of giving everyone else a bye in the AFC. But that wasn't fair to those teams, and potentially you would have a Chiefs team getting 2 weeks off, I guess, in a row, and then you're pushing back the AFC, then it impacts the Pro Bowl. I mean, the only thing that you could do in this situation was cancel the game and do a winning percentage and do something like that they're doing, try to figure out what is fair. And I think that's what they're going to try to get a handle on with all the clubs in a special league meeting tomorrow. And I kind of outlined the scenarios that are going to take place. The AFC Championship game could be at a neutral site, and if the Bengals and Ravens played, if the Ravens win this Sunday, if they go and play in the postseason, home field advantage would be decided by a coin flip. All right. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati right now, good news. Damar Hamlin is alert. He's moving his hands, his feet. He's communicating with doctors, family, and friends. His first question was, did the Bills win? And the doctors answered that, yes, Damar, you won the game of life. I think that was a pretty cool, thing that happened there. And what's even better is that DeMar's on the road to recovery. It sounds like it. That's what the doctors pointed to. He still has a tube in his throat to be able to breathe, and he'll have that until he's out of intensive care. Until that they feel like it's safe enough where he can breathe on his own. But neurologically, he's with it, and that's the one thing that they were worried about because they had to resuscitate him, not knowing how long he was out for. All right, we got to take a break. I promise you, Andrew Fillipponi will be back in a couple minutes, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Stay right there.